There's a lake in the Himalayas where more than 500 people died. And to this day, no one can agree on how. 16,000 feet up, frozen most of the year. But when the ice melts back, it gives up the bones. Some of them died 1,200 years ago. Some died only 200. And some of them weren't even from this continent. So what were they all doing up here, 16,000 feet above the rest of the world? This is Roopkund, the skeleton lake. And the truth about who is frozen inside it is stranger than any legend. High in the Indian Himalayas, past the last village, past the last tree, there's a small frozen lake the maps barely name. 16,470 feet. No road reaches it. Nobody lives within days of it. It's barely 40 yards across. Shallow enough to wade, and for most of the year it's sealed under ice. But for a few weeks each summer, the ice pulls back, and the shoreline turns white with bone. In 1942, a forest ranger climbed up here on patrol. What he found, he first mistook for a massacre. Hundreds of skulls, whole skeletons, hair, and even preserved flesh held in the freezing water. It was wartime. His first thought, enemy soldiers, a lost regiment. He was wrong by 1,000 years. Estimates of the dead run from 300 to more than 800. A whole crowd of people who climbed to one of the most hostile places on Earth to die together. When researchers finally studied the remains, the details only deepened the mystery. Among the bones, rings, glass bangles, leather slippers, bamboo staffs. These weren't the sick or the starving. They were strong, healthy adults, and they'd come prepared, as if for a long journey. Because the lake sits on an ancient pilgrimage route to the mountain goddess Nanda Devi, a path the devout still walk today. For generations, one local song explained all of it. A king named Jasdaval, his pregnant queen, and their whole party climbed this sacred route in arrogance, singing and dancing on holy ground. And the goddess, enraged, struck them down with a storm of iron. For centuries, it was only a song. Then science looked at the skulls and found something impossible to ignore. Every fatal wound was to the head and the shoulders. Short, deep, rounded cracks, all struck from directly above. Nothing on the ground does that. Only one thing falls from a Himalayan sky hard enough to kill hundreds. Hail, the size of cricket balls. Caught in the open with nowhere to hide, hundreds were beaten to death by the sky itself. And that, for decades, was the answer. One storm, one doomed party, case closed. Until 2019, a team sequenced the DNA of 38 of the dead. And the tidy story fell apart. They weren't one group. They were three, dying centuries apart. Most were local, from around 800 AD, but 14 of them carried the DNA of people from the Eastern Mediterranean, from Greece. And they died around 1800, 1,000 years after the rest. There's no record of who they were, no record of why a group of Greeks climbed to a frozen lake at the roof of the Himalayas, and no record of what killed them. Pilgrims? Traders? Something else entirely? We still don't know. Every summer, the ice still melts. And every summer, Roopkund surrenders a few more bones from the bottom. We finally know who some of them were. We still have no idea why they came. Some lakes keep their dead and their secrets. This was Roopkund, the lake that keeps its dead.